Christian XCY Review covering Las Vegas and the world. We're going to do the early games today till 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll approximately be here. If they finish up earlier than that, we'll be off before that. Christian XCY Review Las Vegas covering Las Vegas and the world. All I can tell you about today is I'm excited about the NFL games because the Las Vegas Raiders will be playing the Indianapolis Colts in the early section. So we'll see if the Raiders can get back on the hump. Can get back on the hump today. And also, I want to hear from you today on what you think about this NFL season. So we're going to look at down the rest. We're going to wait, obviously, for the kickoffs here. Let's just go over a couple of details. To begin this, as always, we give reaction as the games are happening today. I'm going to put the scores in the chat box, as always. And on top of that, also, we are going to recap things as they happen today and give you live reaction. So let's just go through a little bit of CY Interview notes. As always, every week here on CY Interview, we do a college football preview and predictions with Lane Fobbs of Bearcat Bites. If you haven't already, please check him out at Bearcat Bites. He is a great guy and has a great Substack. So go check him out on X. We do a weekly segment with him. We just posted a great segment with Barbara Streisand, tribute artist Sharon Owens, who has an ongoing show here in Las Vegas that's going to extend past December. So please go check that out. That was just posted on the main channel. We have a really good 50-plus minute CY review coming up that will be running in a couple of days as well. With one of the show business legends who has an ongoing residency here in Las Vegas. He's been performing in Vegas for over 50 years. He's a past CY Review guest. You'll see that in a couple of days. And then finally, we'll have a great comedy story on comedian on the rise who was at a comedy venue on the Las Vegas Strip we were at earlier this week. So please keep in mind, there's a lot of great stuff coming up on CY Review as always. We're here again till about approximately 1:30 p.m. today to talk about everything early on in the NFL. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Let us know where you're from in the chat, and thank you so much. And we'll be doing scoring updates as the day goes along. We'll be here for about, again, 3.5 to 4 hours. So that's all the house cleaning. Of course, if you want to keep up with CY Interview, go to www.cyinterview.com. And of course, www.facebook.com/CYinterview for the Facebook. And then, of course, if you're on X, it's twitter.com or x.com today/CYinterview as well. And I want to thank everybody. A lot of you have been watching, if you can believe it. You've been watching these live streams in replay. So I'm so greatly appreciative for that. Let's talk about today's NFL games that are going to be taking place. Again, we've got the Miami Dolphins looking to get their second win of the NFL season. They're going to be at the Carolina Panthers today. The Houston Texans and Baltimore Ravens, playoff teams from the past, both 1-3. They are going to be playing today, both looking for their second win of the year. Of course, again, the Las Vegas Raiders, heartbreaking loss last week against the Chicago Bears. They need to win today. 1-3 going on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. The New York Giants, 1-3 on the season, got that win. I've got a win now on the season against the Chargers. They're playing against the New Orleans Saints. So we'll see how that goes today as well. There's a couple of other games in the early slate. Looking forward very much to seeing what happens in week 5 of the NFL season. The Saints and the Giants have just kicked off, but really, the Raiders need to find a way to win today. That's what we're mainly going to be focused on, is our hometown team, Las Vegas Raiders. Just to note, the thumbnail for today's NFL game is Aiden O'Connell, the Las Vegas Raiders quarterback. We took that picture at the Super Bowl NFL Experience in 2024, a day before the Raiders took on the Chiefs. What a fun time that was. Obviously, there's discussions that Las Vegas is going to get the Super Bowl again in 2029. I hope it happens. We all hope it happens. It should be here every year, much like WrestleMania should be here every year, and WrestleMania will be here back again in April. Really excited about all of that. Looking forward to it. So let's see what happens today in week 5 of the NFL season. Thank you so much for joining us. CY Interview. Let us know what you're doing this weekend. where you are in the chat, all that good stuff, and we're here for you always. Also, the Denver Broncos are taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in early action. The Eagles are 4-0 on the season. Will they get to 5-0 today on the season? We'll see about that. Obviously, as you know, the Denver Broncos were a playoff team last year. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. You'll hear my live thoughts, and we'll put the scores in the chat box as they happen. Also early on, of course, the Dallas Cowboys are playing against the New York Jets. Cowboys looking for another win. Jets still did not have a win on the season. The New Orleans Saints do not have a win on the season. They are both 0-4. Broncos quarterback just missed a very... Bo Nix out there just missed a spiral. Colts have the ball first against the Raiders here. Raiders are playing some good defense there in the backfield. They're going to force a third down. Max Crosby, of course, great defensive player for the Las Vegas Raiders, the star of the defense, maybe, one of the best defensive players in the NFL with a great tackle right there. Again, in the chat box, link to our website on the front page, Facebook link below. Thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you as always. Thanks so much for making this part of your NFL Sunday. Wherever you are in the world, we greatly appreciate you. I think a lot of people are surprised that the Houston Texans and Baltimore Ravens are both 1-3 on the year. Texans last week, of course, got that 26-0 win over the Tennessee Titans. They were Titans are, how many wins will the Titans have this year? Maybe the Titans will be lucky to win, 1 or 2 games on the NFL season. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that, but it's not looking great so far this year for the Tennessee Titans. But the Texans and the Ravens, both 1-3 on the year. That is not a great way to start the NFL season, that's for sure. So, you get to 2-3 today. You build some confidence. You still got 12 games remaining, but got to find something going on. Giants can get to 2-3 today if they beat the New Orleans Saints. We'll see about that. Early on, the Saints, no drive. They're going to be punting. So that'll be decent for the New York Giants. They always say any given Sunday in the NFL, and that's how you have the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens both 1-3 on the year. Miami Dolphins beat the New York Jets on Monday Night Football this past Monday. So they are 1-3 on the year. They have a chance to get to 2-3 on the year if they beat the Panthers today. Have to wait and see about that. Raiders, long pass, and they're moving on a drive. The Raiders are at Indianapolis today. They are not on the road. So please take note of that. No Allegiant Stadium game this week. The Raiders next week will be at home against those winless Tennessee Titans we were just talking about. So that's the NFL game at home next week here in the entertainment capital of the world. The New York Jets are moving the ball early on against the Dallas Cowboys. The Jets and the Saints are both 0-4, both looking for their first win of the NFL season. Cowboys are 1-2-1 after the Sunday Night Football tie against the Green Bay Packers last week. Tie games, not great for your NFL season. You want to win those games. Ties are better than a loss, but the tie is that, anomaly situation. Houston Texans are inside the 5-yard line here early on against the Baltimore Ravens. At this given moment, no team has put any points up on the board yet, but we're getting close to that as some teams enter the red zone here. I'm Chris Yannick, C1 Interview. Thank you so much for being here. It's NFL Sunday, Week 5. We're doing the early games today because our Las Vegas Raiders are playing the Indianapolis Colts right now. The hometown team is looking to get to 2-3 on the NFL season. Update, the Miami Dolphins and Carolina Panthers, a battle of 1-3 teams. The Miami Dolphins are in the red zone, about 15 yards away from scoring. Dolphins need to win today to get to 2-3 on the year if they want to keep their playoff hopes moving along, I think. I think if you're 1-3, you really need to win again. We talked about this last week about these 0-3 teams who, if you go 0-4, you're not going to get that 10-3, 9-4 record the rest of the way. You're not finishing 10-7 or 9-8. And now we talk about these 1-3 teams today, and they have to find a way to get to 2-3. If you get to 2-3, your odds are better again to get to that number of either 10-7 or 9-8. Again, sometimes a 9-8 team, 9 wins and 8 losses, can get into that wild card spot, that 7th and last playoff spot in the AFC or the NFC. And but again, you're going to need some help along the way and hope that a lot of other teams have some losses along the way. The Baltimore Ravens have started the day with a touchdown. They're now beating the Houston Texans. That score is going to be 6-0 with the pending extra point. I'm Christian C. Weinerby. It is week 5 of the NFL season. We're here for the early games today. Thank you so much for everybody who's in the room. Of course, go over to cweinerview.com if you want to find more information about us. Go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Thank you if you're a subscriber already. We're now over 44,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching our content. We greatly appreciate it. Go take a look at some of our recent content. Again, every week we do the Lane Fobs college football preview and predictions. That goes out on Wednesday night. I had a great time this past week. Florida surprisingly beat Texas yesterday. I'll give Lane credit on that one. Didn't see that coming. Florida now 2-3 on the year. Miami moves along and they're still undefeated after beating Florida State yesterday 28-22. Jets are inside the 5-yard line against the Dallas Cowboys here. It's going to be 2nd and goal upcoming. The New York Jets about to score a touchdown, as Howard Cosell, the late Howard Cosell, would say. New York Giants, if they can get to 2-3 on the year, that would be a pretty decent start considering how they started at 0-3. Heartbreaking loss to the Dallas Cowboys in week 2. I'd be happy if I were the New York Giants if I were 2-3 on the year. 7-0 Houston over Baltimore. Again, we're going to put that in the text chat. $7-0 Baltimore early, and the Miami Dolphins have kicked a field goal, so they're now up 3-0 on the Carolina Panthers. So we'll put that in the text chat now. 3-0 Miami over Carolina. 7-0 Baltimore over Houston right now is where we are right now on that. And that was, of course, every game, of course, is in the first quarter, obviously. Let us know where you're from, what you've done this weekend, what you're watching today, where you are in the world. Thank you so much for being here on CY Interviews live. NFL Week 5 reaction. We're going to be here again until approximately 1:25 p.m. Eastern Time. We're doing the live games today, the early ones, because the Raiders are playing the Colts. Going to be an exciting one. Hopefully the Raiders can get the 2-3 on the year. They're actually doing a drive. They're actually driving right now. They're inside the Indianapolis Colts 25-yard line, around approximately the 21-yard line. And we'll see what happens here. I think they're on a 2nd down. Raiders are inside the 10-yard line now. That's going to be close to 1st and goal for the Raiders. If the Raiders can get up here, listen, the Indianapolis Colts have had an impressive year so far. If the Raiders can get up on the Colts early, that would be a great confidence boost. Speaking of confidence boost, the Las Vegas' college football team, the UNLV Rebels, are now 5-0 on their season. They beat the Wyoming Cowboys in the snow yesterday, 24-10. UNLV now 5-0 on the season. They will be hosting next week here the Air Force, Falcons, the Service Academy, 1-4 Air Force. They should move to 6-0 on the year after that one. If you look at UNLV's remaining schedule, maybe they lose to Boise State, but they could go 12-0. Do they have a chance to get that, college football playoff spot non from the big conferences? We'll have to wait and see on that, but it's getting interesting. Kudos to Dan Mullen, former University of Florida head football coach. He's gotten UNLV to 5-0 on the year with some impressive road wins so far against Miami, Ohio, and Wyoming. The New York Jets have just kicked a field goal. They are up 3-0 on the New York Jets. So now it's New York Jets 3, Dallas Cowboys 0, excuse me. We're going to pause for a 30-second break. And we'll be right back continuing our live NFL reaction. The Las Vegas Raiders update, NFL 5 live reaction. They're about to score a touchdown. Raiders really need this one. Like, they really need this one. Colts are 3-1 to start the year. The Raiders really need this touchdown. You're on the road against the Indianapolis Colts, who probably are going to be a playoff team. They got a good chance to win the AFC South this year. You really need to get that 7 points here. 3 is okay, but 7 is better. Geno Smith is back in the pocket there. He's going to get sacked, unfortunately. Raiders are going to have a 3rd and forever here to get the touchdown. If not, they're going to have to settle for 3 points. We'll see what happens in a minute. So far this week, the Minnesota Vikings, by the way, in the early London game, beat the Cleveland Browns today. Cleveland Browns have 1 win on the NFL season against the Green Bay Packers. Minnesota Vikings continue to move along in a positive direction. Had to get a last-minute touchdown there at the end. 21-17 so far there. No score in the Broncos and Eagles game. We're checking those here on the bottom of the screen. Panthers down to the Dolphins 3-0 early on here. Let's see if we're missing anything else. Of course, also on Thursday Night Football, the San Francisco 49ers beat the Los Angeles Rams 26-23. The New York Giants have gotten a touchdown on the board. They're now up 6-0 down in New Orleans in the Big Easy. 6-0 New York Giants. Will the New Orleans Saints win a couple football games this year? That'll be the question. The Raiders were not able to convert on that 3rd down. They are going to have to settle for a field goal. They will have to settle for a field goal. Let's see what happens. The kick is up, and it's good, and it's 3-0 Las Vegas Raiders over the Indianapolis Colts. Let's put that in the check box. Chris Yandeck, C1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. It is the first quarter of the early NFL Week 5 games. The Houston Texans are beating the Baltimore Ravens right now 7-0. 2 playoff teams, 2 teams you expect to both be better than 1 and 3. That's kind of the storyline early here. 7-0 Houston. Raiders are up 3-0 on the Indianapolis Colts in the first quarter. Raiders really need to win today. 1-4 is going to be a tough start for any team in the NFL. Hopefully the Raiders can get to 2-3 on the year. The Miami Dolphins are up early on the Carolina Panthers 3-0. And finally, the New York Jets, looking for their first win of the NFL season, are up 3-0 on the Dallas Cowboys. So the Dallas Cowboys are driving and probably going to get at least 3 points on this drive here. They're 1st and 10 inside the New York Jets 20-yard line. Dak Prescott throws up in the end zone. That's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down coming for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, if you want to check out anything, go to our main channel to keep up with everything we have going on here in Las Vegas and beyond. We greatly appreciate it. We've got some great podcasts coming up. We just posted, again, our CY interview with Barbra Streisand tribute artist Sharon Owens, who has an ongoing show celebrating the music of Barbra Streisand 3 days a week here in Las Vegas. That's going to be extended all the way through December. Go check that one out. We just put that on the main channel. It's the first video below after you watch today. Thank you very much. As always, Jimmy, we appreciate you for stopping by today. And thank you so much, as always. Hope everything's going well on your side of the world. Thank you so much. We're here till approximately 1:25 Eastern time for the next 3.5 hours today. We're only doing the early games today. And so thank you so much for stopping by. As always, we greatly appreciate you. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world, week 5 of the NFL season. The Baltimore Ravens are trying to even up with the Houston Texans. Houston Texans are winning 7-0 right now. Dallas Cowboys, I think, just tied it up against the New York Jets 3-3. We'll have to review that again in a minute. Baltimore Ravens, Houston Texans, 2 playoff teams last year. One of them needs to be 2-3. The other that's 1-4. It's going to be an uphill climb, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have ever thought that these 2 great NFL teams who historically have been in the playoffs over the last couple of years are both 1 win and 3 losses? Not a great way to start your NFL season. No score still so far in the Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles. 0-0 there. Denver's moving the ball down the field, trying to move it at midfield. But let me just tell you something. Every week in the NFL, we always talk about this. Any team can beat any team. That's the parity and the beauty of the NFL. But I just have to tell you one thing, as always, you've got to focus. If you don't focus, you're not going to end up anywhere. You're not going to end up anywhere whatsoever. So I just emphasize those kinds of things. Houston Texans, Baltimore Ravens. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be 4th down upcoming for the Baltimore Ravens. Field goes up and good. Baltimore Ravens get on the board. 7-3. Houston Texans over the Baltimore Ravens in the first quarter. Again, as I've emphasized, I'll continue to emphasize this. Ravens-Texans winner needs to be that the Denver Broncos. Will Lutz field goal on the board. Will Lutz, formerly of the New Orleans Saints. 3-0 Denver Broncos over the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll put that in the scoring chat for the update. Chris Yandex, C1 interview covering Las Vegas and the world. Thank you for all the people who are in the room, our subscribers, our followers. We are talking about week 5 of the NFL season. Thank you so much for being here. As always, we greatly appreciate it. Miami has the ball back against the Carolina Panthers. They're at approximately midfield. The Miami Dolphins currently 1-3 on the NFL season. The Carolina Panthers, another battle of 1-3 teams. Miami needs to get to 2-3 on the year to help their playoff chances. Miami 1-3, Carolina 1-3, Miami approximately at midfield. Miami wearing their kind of home team aqua today, which is not what you usually watch. Hello, Natty from India. It's been a couple weeks since we last saw you. Thank you so much for joining in with us again. We're doing the NFL again this week. It's NFL Sunday in America. Hope you're doing well over there in India. Thank you so much for coming by today, as always, and following along on the channel. We really appreciate it. It's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I do recognize you. Absolutely, I do recognize you. Christian XCY interview. I know that you're from India. And yes, I do recognize you, and I hope you're doing well over there, and I hope life is going well. It's been a couple of weeks since you've last been in the room. The New York Jets are at midfield against the Dallas Cowboys. 3-3 New York Jets and Dallas Cowboys. Indianapolis Colts are at midfield against our hometown team, Las Vegas Raiders. But guess what? It's going to the end of the first quarter. The Las Vegas Raiders are going to be winning after one quarter against the Indianapolis Colts. The score is 3-0 Las Vegas Raiders over the Indianapolis Colts. That will be a great positive for the Raiders. Hopefully they can hold at least the Colts to a field goal here. We're doing well, Natty. Thank you so much for all the messages in the chat. We greatly appreciate you as always. We hope you're watching all the videos on the main C1 Interview channel as well. And thank you so much for being here. It's so greatly appreciated. Again, as always, go over to the main channel, youtube.com/@CYinterviews. Got a bunch of good stuff coming up. Got a very fun thing on a comedy venue we went to on Friday night in Las Vegas on a comedian on the rise. We'll be posting that in the coming days, and a show business legend in the coming days we did 50+ minutes with. Look for those this week on CY Interview. Broncos up 3-0 against the Eagles. The Eagles are only at their own 20-yard line. The Eagles are looking to stay undefeated today and get to 5-0 on the NFL season. They got a first down here. They got a long way to go, though. Broncos 2-2 on the NFL season so far. Broncos and Eagles, of course, both playoff teams last year. Dolphins are not able to convert a first down, so it's going to be 4th and 5. I don't know if they're going to try a long field goal attempt here. We'll see in a minute. We'll see in a minute. For Shandex C1 review covering Las Vegas and the world, it is week 5 of the NFL season. We're giving you a live reaction for the early games today because our hometown team, Las Vegas Raiders, are playing in the early games. Miami Dolphins here against the Carolina Panthers. Miami, I guess, was able to move that football along, so they're still driving. New York Giants 7, New Orleans Saints nothing. 1-3 versus 0-4. The Saints are in the red zone, trying to get some points on the board. See what happens there. And the Eagles are now at midfield, which is good. Good for them. Welcome to everybody who's joining us for our NFL Live this week, including people from Africa and India and across the world as we talk, week 5 of the NFL season. We're getting into the middle of that NFL season. We're not near the playoff projections yet. Still got a bunch of weeks to get there, but I always tell you, and this is the thing I always say about this, if for the first 4 weeks of the NFL season, we really kind of figure out who these teams are. And then by week 5, you kind of know the capabilities of the majority of these teams unless they make big changes at quarterback, and somehow that pays off. There are stories, of course, of coaches getting fired early in the NFL season. The Raiders have one of those examples where there's only been like a handful of coaches after a coach got fired early in the year that they still made the playoffs. The Raiders were that case that year. I think that was the first year, actually, or second year they were here in Vegas. Lost to Cincinnati Bengals in the wild card round in a close game. But you got to get winning. You got to get to that second victory today. I feel like if you've got 2 victories or more, you're doing okay. But if you're 1-4, it's just too far away for that chance to make the playoffs. So, get win 2 today. And if you can get win 3 or 4, well, you're on your way. So I tell you, Baltimore Ravens and Houston Texans, you got to win today. You have got to win today. If you do not win today, you are not going to that. You're not going to that playoffs potentially. I mean, I know it's early. A lot of teams could lose games. There could be a lot of parity. There could be a lot of 500 records, but it's just not likely. The update: Las Vegas Raiders 3-0, beating the Indianapolis Colts right now. 3-0, 3-0 right now. Indianapolis Colts, Las Vegas Raiders. Incomplete pass there by the Colts. Not a great ball thrown right there. If the Raiders can hold the Colts to a field goal, that would be tremendously huge. A couple of years ago, the Raiders played at the Colts and lost by 3 points. They usually play the Colts really tough. I realized, at least in Indianapolis, historically speaking, 3rd and 12 for the Colts here. They are going to get the first down, unfortunately. And the Colts will have some fresh set of downs here to try to get the touchdown against the Las Vegas Raiders. 3-0 Raiders here in the second quarter. The Philadelphia Eagles are now in the red zone against the Denver Broncos. They're getting to the end of the first quarter here. Orange the Seawater, you cat in the background. Maybe he'll make a cameo today. Hi, Orange. I hope you're doing well. Cats sometimes don't know what they want. It's an NFL Sunday, though. Do you want to watch the cat teams, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Carolina Panthers? Well, the Panthers are playing the Dolphins right now. Second and 10 for the Colts coming up here against the Raiders. 3-0 Raiders in the second quarter. Looks like the Colts got a touchdown on the board here, unfortunately, and they did. And there you go. 6-3, Daniel Jones touchdown for the Indianapolis Colts. It is now the Colts 6 and the Raiders 3. The Miami Dolphins with a touchdown on the board, taking it to 9-0 over the Carolina Panthers. Dolphins looking a lot better than the first 3 weeks of the NFL season after the win against the Jets. A win here against the Carolina Panthers would be great for the Dolphins to get them to 2-3 on the season. So we're going to update some scores in a second in the scoring box once we get some extra points on the board. Miami Dolphins looking much better this week against the Carolina Panthers. The Eagles are going to have to settle for a field goal. That kick is up and good. That game is at Philadelphia. I'm going to update the scoring box. We got a couple of scores here, 3 in a row here. Denver 3, Philadelphia 3. That's at the end of the first quarter. Houston Texans are driving again. Don't have the pending extra points yet for Miami and Carolina. We're waiting on that. Earlier today, the Minnesota Vikings, in the early game of the day in London, defeated the Cleveland Browns by a score of 21-17. Houston 7, Ravens 3. Houston trying to get some more points on the board here. 25-yard line. Let's see what C.J. Stroud does here on 3rd and 5. And he's going to be sacked, ladies and gentlemen. What a sack and what a blitz by the Baltimore Ravens defense there. The Houston Texans are going to have to settle for a field goal. Probably going to be 10-3. We'll see. Probably going to be 10-3. He got in there for that sack, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, did he ever get in there for that sack. Boy, did he get in there for that sack, ladies and gentlemen. The kick is up, and it is good. Houston 10, Ravens 3. That is now in the second quarter. 11 minutes to halftime. We'll put a scoring update in the box. Still got to give you a couple more. That's Houston 10, Baltimore 3. Natty, I hope you're doing well. Thanks again for coming by today. Let's see what else we got going on here. I'm going to check some of the stats on my phone here. Just give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we got going on. See if Miami got that extra point against the Panthers. Let's look at the scoring box here just to check. We've got Miami 10, Panthers nothing. We're going to update the scoring box. The Dolphins are beating the Carolina Panthers 10-0 in the second. And then we've got over here, let's see, we got Giants 7, Saints 3. Again, the New York Giants are looking to get to 2-3 on the NFL season. Giants looking for their first win. See what else is going on. What have we missed so far? Let's give you scoring updates. Let's just go down the line. Houston 10, Baltimore 3, New York Giants 7, New Orleans Saints 3. The Broncos and the Eagles are 3-3. Cowboys and Jets 3-3. The Colts are now up on the Raiders 7-3, and the Dolphins are up on the Panthers 10-0. There's your NFL update. We're all getting into this. They're all in the second quarter. What a fast-moving NFL Week 5 early season we've got here right now. Raiders are moving the ball again. Come on, Raiders. Let's get some points on the board. Get some points on the board. It's Indianapolis. We're going to put that in the box. 7. Las Vegas Raiders 3. Chris Shandick, C1 Review, covering Las Vegas and the world. It is Week 5 of the NFL season. It is the early games. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're going over all of them. We're having a good time. Some good contests today. Some teams looking to improve their playoff stock. It's never too early to improve your playoff resume. Other teams looking for their first wins of the NFL season, the New Orleans Saints and the New York Jets. Let's see if a couple of these winless teams will find a way to get a win today in Week 5. You know, how many wins will the New York Jets and the New Orleans Saints have this year? I can't imagine more than 2 or 3, but let's see. You know, it's the NFL any given Sunday. The New York Giants are right now driving against the Saints inside the 20-yard line, looking to extend their lead. Carolina Panthers have no points so far today. It is 10-0, and they just threw an interception. Bryce Young threw an interception to a Miami Dolphins defender. That's early in the second quarter. 10-0 Miami. Miami looking good today against the Carolina Panthers on the road. Good for the Dolphins. The Broncos and the Eagles are the last team that haven't gotten into the second quarter, and they finally have. 3-3 Broncos and Eagles. Eagles are undefeated. Broncos made the playoffs last year. Of course, Eagles, Super Bowl champions. Let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen, if the Eagles can extend, get to 5-0 on the NFL season. Again, the thumbnail for today's video is Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Aidan O'Connell, who's out with an injury right now, who we met at the Super Bowl experience when it was here in January of 2024, prior to the Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. We're so excited. We hope we get the Super Bowl back here in 2029. I don't think that's confirmed yet. I'll look up and double check that during the feed today, see if I can get you some updated information on that. But, you know, the Super Bowl should be here every year, like WrestleMania and the biggest sporting events. Nobody does the entertainment capital of the world better than us. And I want to thank the people who are watching these live streams in replay. Thank you so very much for being here, supporting me, supporting us at CY Interview. We are so greatly appreciative of our C1 Interview live community, who has been very supportive over these last 3 weeks, watching these NFL games in real time. It's greatly appreciative. New York Giants threw it to the end zone. I think that's going to be a touchdown pass, and it is. That's a touchdown for the New York Giants. Tight end Theo Johnson caught that ball from quarterback Dart. It is now 13-3 Giants over the Saints. You know, again, if you're the New York Giants and you get to 2-3 after this week, you got to feel a little bit better about yourself after starting 0-3 on the year. You beat the Chargers last week. Unfortunately, the Raiders just had a block punt by the Indianapolis Colts. Not very good. 7-3 right now. Indianapolis Colts over the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders now going to, unfortunately, put themselves in a deeper hole unless there's a turnover here. 7-3. Colts over the Raiders right now. Orange to C1 Review. Cat is going to go over to the corner and take his nap right now as we do the NFL live feed. Hi, Orange. Say hello to the audience. Chris Shandick, C1 Review, covering Las Vegas and the world. We're doing NFL live reaction until 4:30 today. Feel free to stop by, tell your friends. What did you do this weekend? What are you up to? Where are you in the world? Always feel free to join in the chat and tell us what you're doing as we talk about Week 5 of the NFL season. The Dallas Cowboys are moving the ball against the New York Giants, and they just scored a touchdown. That's Jake Ferguson with the score there. It is now 9-3 Dallas Cowboys over the New York Jets. We're going to pause for a little break here. We're going to update a couple of scores as well. Let's see what the score is. Let's just take a look at the update. We're going to refresh here on our score box down here at the bottom. And let's see that. It is now New York Giants 14, New Orleans Saints 3. I'm going to put that in the chat. I'm going to put that in the chat. So there we go on that one. Colts are incomplete pass on the first down there. Raiders really need to hold here. They really need to hold here. They really need to hold here. For those of you wondering, the Super Bowl will take place on February 8th, by the way. Of course, it's going to be at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, in California. No, it's in Santa Clara this year. My apologies. It's where the 49ers play. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Santa Clara, California. Los Angeles was last year. Time flies when you're having fun. California getting a bunch of the Super Bowls. California, Florida, Las Vegas, New Orleans, home of many of the Super Bowls. Las Vegas to be many more in the future. The Miami Dolphins are inside the 5-yard line now. It's 10-0. Touchdown, Indianapolis Colts. The Raiders are now going to be down 14-3 most likely. Unfortunately, a touchdown by running back Jonathan Taylor, formerly of the University of Miami. The University of Miami off to a great start this year. So far undefeated. They're in the top 5. Darren Waller, tight end, with a touchdown, extending Miami's lead. Let's put some score updates in the chat box, and we'll get that moving along if you give me one moment. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see. Dolphins 17, Panthers nothing. Miami looking very good early. Still 3-3 Eagles and Broncos. We'll update the box. Dallas 10, New York Jets 3. Got to give the Broncos credit. They've been hanging tough so far with the Philadelphia Eagles today, with the score being 3-3. Got to be confident about that. If you're the Denver Broncos and you can get to halftime tied with the Eagles, that's quite good. That'd be quite good if you were the Eagles tied with the Broncos at the half. Christian XC1 interview covering Las Vegas and the world. We're doing Week 5 early NFL game reaction today because the Las Vegas Raiders are playing. A bunch of other good teams are playing right now as well. New York Giants are looking very good early on against the New Orleans Saints, winning 14-3. Denver Broncos are playing tough with the Philadelphia Eagles, who are undefeated. That score is 3-3 in the second quarter. Miami looking good early on, looking like the team that's most likely to win already in the early set. They're beating the Carolina Panthers 17-0. Darren Waller touchdown for the Miami Dolphins just a minute ago. New Orleans Saints are 0-4 on the year, looking to get their first win of the NFL season against the New York Giants. Giants looking impressive early, 14-3. All the scores are going to be in the chat box for you, updated as we move along today in today's NFL action. They sure are, but they haven't been playing well. They didn't play well the first 3 weeks, Jemmy. They won against the Jets on Monday Night Football. Carolina, not very good either. Dolphins have got to get it together, though, in that division. The Buffalo Bills are reigning supreme right now, undefeated. They're playing tonight on Sunday Night Football against the New England Patriots. Dolphins have got to win today. If they want to be anywhere this year, they've got to win today. A lot of people don't even predict the Dolphins to make the playoffs, but they get to 2-3. Again, as the continuing narrative of the NFL season is the following: to make the NFL playoffs and have a chance to win the Super Bowl, you probably have to have a record of 10 wins and 7 losses, or at the worst, 9 wins and 8 losses. Now, if you start the season 1-4, that means you have to finish 8-3 on the NFL season, or potentially 10-2. And those statistics are very hard to imagine. 10-3, 9-4. Those statistics are very hard to imagine when you started the NFL season. You know, you've got to win 10 or 9 games. You only have 1 or 2 wins. You know, if you get to that second win, then you only need 7 more wins, right? You need 7 more wins against 5 losses. 8-4 versus 7-5 is a lot easier than 9-3. A lot of these NFL teams are not going to win 9 of their last 12 games. So you start factoring in that if you're 0-4, you have to finish 9-4 or 10-3. That's not happening. You're at 1-3. You know, you've got to finish. You've got to finish either 9-4 or 8-5. It's going to be very tough. Again, even at 8-5, that's tough. And a lot of these teams, every team has to play the divisional opponents multiple times. So again, 2-3, all you then have is worst case scenario. You go 7-5, which is like right over 500. You have a chance to make the playoffs at 9-8, maybe. But if you're 1-4, then you've got to finish the season with 8 wins and 4 losses, or 9 wins and 3 losses, and that is just going to be an uphill climb to make the playoffs. That's just going to be an absolutely uphill climb. So, no, not very good. So 2-3, I like. 1-4, I do not. I like anything above 2-3. Anything above 2-3 right now, 3-2, 4-1. You're the Eagles, 5-0, 4-1. You're going to make the playoffs probably if you keep your stretch going. But all these other teams, not so much. So it's a really tough scenario if you start the NFL season, 1-4, 0-5, you're done. 1-4 is a really tough climb because you got to finish the season. You got to finish that season 8-4. That means you got to win, 66% of those games, which you're probably not going to. Scoring update again: Indianapolis 14, the Raiders 3. We're going to put that in the scoring box. Hopefully the Raiders can do something positive here. Looks like these games are going through very quickly today, though. Very quickly. Eagles and Broncos is the head scratcher of the day, 3-3. Broncos do have a decent defense, but Eagles not showing much today on offense so far. The Ravens are up 10-3. They're at the Baltimore Ravens 15. They're looking to extend this game. Ravens start the year 1-4. Good luck. Again, they are the Baltimore Ravens still, but it's going to be hard to make the playoffs. It's going to be really hard. I mean, again, yeah, you still got the Browns once, and you got the Bengals a couple of times, but still very hard. The Raiders are having a bad day at the office so far, but it is early. The Giants are up on the Saints 14-6. Saints field goal on the board there. Saints looking for their first win of the NFL season. Still, that game is taking place in the Big Easy, New Orleans, where the Super Bowl was last year. Excuse me. My corrections on that. New Orleans 14, New York Giants 6. Put that in the scoring box. The Raiders need to get some points on this drive. Geno Smith and company, they're at their own 25-yard line. The Raiders will get some luck next week, though, I promise you, because they get to play the winless Tennessee Titans at home next week. So they should be able to get to at least 2-4. Raiders with a nice run there to get to the first down marker. So they'll be able to keep their drive going. 7 minutes to halftime. The Colts are beating the Raiders 14-3. Jalen Hurts is at their own 25-yard line. Let's just take a look at some of the scoring updates while you're sitting with us. And thank you so much for everyone being here today. We greatly appreciate you coming in and supporting the channel as always. Take a look at something here quickly. I want to take a look at something else. 17-0 still Miami over Carolina. I would say, Jimmy, that Carolina is having an absolutely bad day at the office. I don't see the Carolina Panthers winning today. Imagine that. A couple weeks ago, they held the Atlanta Falcons to 0 points, but now they're getting shut out today. They're getting shut out today. So not very good so far. We're about an hour into our live. The NFL games are going very quick today in Week 5 in the early action. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We greatly appreciate you watching Week 5 of the NFL season. Where else would you be on your NFL Sunday? The Houston Texans just scored a touchdown. That's going to make it 16-3 over the Baltimore Ravens. Is that the surprise of the day, or is the surprise that both these teams have 1 win and 3 losses? I'm not very sure about that. The extra point is up and good. It is Houston 17, Baltimore 3. Thanks for everybody who stopped by so far. We greatly appreciate you. We're looking forward to seeing who ends up improving on their record. The Philadelphia Eagles are driving down the field right now. Pass interference call on the Denver Broncos there. Not very good. That is not very good for the that is not very good for the company right there. Not very good one bit. Carolina Panthers are trying to get on the board here. And yep, they're having a bad day at the office so far, as Jemmy very well said. But they get some points here, maybe. They're inside the 15-yard line. The Eagles get on the board. There's your Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions. They're moving that ball along. Carolina's held there. It is 2nd and 10. See if the Panthers can get on the board here. We're almost at halftime. Checking some scores here. So we'll just go down the board here. Let's just pull these up. Let's go down the board for those of you who are here. It is 17-10, Texans over the Ravens. Giants are up 14-6. Eagles 10, Broncos 3, Cowboys 10, Jets 3, Colts 14, Raiders 3. Chris Yannick, CY Interview covering Las Vegas and the world. We're 1 hour into our NFL Live here, giving you thoughts on all of the games taking place in the early set. We're here for the early set only today. Carolina Panthers get a touchdown on the board against the Miami Dolphins. That makes it now 17-6. Xavier Legette with the wide receiver touchdown catch there. Updating scores. Cowboys 10, Jets 3 right now. Broncos are losing to the Eagles 10-3. And the Giants are beating the Saints 14-6. I'm going to pause for a minute of a water break here on CY Interview. We'll be right back with you. So, looking at the scores from the early games so far, I think the biggest surprise is the Texans beating the Ravens 17-3. The Dolphins are looking better against the Panthers today. That's not that surprising, but you know. Raiders are moving the ball a little bit right here. Hopefully our hometown team, Las Vegas Raiders, can get something going here. They're at the Indianapolis 11-yard line right now. Raiders looking to get a touchdown here and match what just happened. Geno Smith throwing incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10 is coming up right now. Update the scores around the NFL for you. We'll put one in the chat box. Miami 17, Carolina 7. And thank you to everybody who watches this recorded live. Appreciate you so much. We've been seeing a lot of uptick in that over the last couple of weeks. And unfortunately, the Raiders have an interception tipped in the air. Geno Smith throws an interception. No points for the Raiders on this board. Not a good day at the office so far. I agree with that. Still time to improve upon it, but that's not great. You really need to get points there. 14-3, Indianapolis Colts over the Las Vegas Raiders. Want to see the Raiders do well. Everybody in Vegas who's a Raiders fan wants to see the Raiders do well, but that is not going to get it done, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not going to get it done. Not going to get it done whatsoever. The Broncos against the Eagles. Eagles 10, Broncos 3. Cowboys 10, Jets 3 right now. Now let's take a look and Shandex Team Interview, covering Las Vegas and the world. We are giving you live thoughts on the NFL live action. Great pass by the New Orleans Saints right there. They got a touchdown, a bomb touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. It is now the New York Giants 14 and the New York Giants 14 and the New Orleans Saints 13. We're going to put that scoring update in the box. Thanks to all of our friends from Africa, India, and across the world who have joined in on this NFL Live today. Philadelphia Eagles are beating the Denver Broncos 10-3 right now. That's getting close to halftime. Let's put an update score on that. That's Philadelphia 10 and Denver 3. Thanks to everybody who's joined in today. Raiders down 14-3 in the second quarter against the Colts. Updated score, Dallas Cowboys playing in New York 10-3 over the New York Jets right now. The winless New York Jets looking for their first win of the NFL season. The Cowboys 1-2 and a tie on Sunday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers, looking for it to be 2-2-1 on the year. Those ties are not common in the NFL, but they absolutely do happen. You know, those Go Raiders indeed, Jam to Bread. Go Raiders indeed. Thank you so much for joining in today. Raiders have got to play some defense. They got to get to the half down at least no worse than 14-3. If they get a score before the half, that'd be good. New York Jets at this point at 0-4, they're just playing for pride, I think. 3 minutes until the half between the Raiders and the Colts. We'll have to wait and see. Oh! Nope, first down, Colts there. It looked like it possibly could have been a turnover, but nope, Colts are going to hold on to the ball. Of course, that game is in Indianapolis. We're getting closer to halftime here. Getting closer to halftime here. See what the Jets can do. Maybe the Jets can match the Cowboys and get to the half at 10-10. We'll have to see here. The Houston Texans have the ball again against the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens season has not looked good so far. It's Baltimore down, losing 17-3 to Houston. I mean, not very good Baltimore Ravens. What happened to the Baltimore Ravens? I know they've had a tough schedule to start the year where you've got to play Kansas City and Buffalo in the first 4 weeks. But, man, not looking good for the Baltimore Ravens so far. One win against the Cleveland Browns, I believe, by a point. Not looking good for the Baltimore Ravens so far. The Jets are inside the red zone, but I think they just fumbled. Let's see. And they did. The Jets just fumbled the ball against the Cowboys inside the 10-yard line. No good for the New York Jets. The Cowboys convert a defensive turnover inside the red zone. The score is going to remain Dallas 10 and New York Jets 3. I'll put that score in the scoring box just in case you wanted to see that. Chris Shandex, C1 Review, covering Las Vegas and the world. We're getting near halftime of the early Week 5 NFL games here so far. Probably the most surprising thing of the day is the Houston Texans beating the Baltimore Ravens 17-3. New York Giants and Saints are playing a really good game, 14-13 right now in the second quarter. They're getting near halftime. They're approximately 3 minutes away from that. Philadelphia Eagles looking to remain undefeated on the NFL season. They are beating the Denver Broncos currently 10-3. Miami Dolphins beating the Carolina Panthers 17-7. flea flicker in the New York Giants game. They're going to throw one down the field. He's wide open, and he can't catch that. Great defensive play by the New Orleans Saints there. The Saints don't have any wins on the NFL season, but they are playing tough. They are absolutely playing tough. They are not giving up on themselves, which is really nice to see. New York Giants, 14-13. Will the Saints punt here? Probably, I imagine. I mean, the Giants punt here? Probably. Next Sunday, another London game. The Jets and the Broncos. Are you looking forward to it, NFL fans? Early morning, 6:30 time site if you want to be watching that here in Las Vegas. But the Raiders do get the Titans next week, so there is that good news. The winless Tennessee Titans at home. Should be a victory for the Raiders next week at least. Again, if you're 2-4, you'd have to finish 7-4. Have to finish 7-4 or 8-3 to make the NFL playoffs. It's a tough climb. It's an absolutely tough climb. So I expect that the Giants are going to punt here. Dolphins have the ball back. Still winning 17-7 against the Carolina Panthers. Unfortunately, Tua just got sacked in the backfield. The Dolphins there. Let's see what's going on. Eagles have the ball at midfield, up 10-3 on the Broncos. Looks like the Eagles started slow, but they've woken up a little bit. And they're inside the 20-yard line right now against the Denver Broncos. Eagles, do they have a chance to go undefeated on this NFL season? Well, they're playing great so far. They still have to play a bunch of division games against the Cowboys and the Commanders. So, I mean, I don't know the Eagles' entire schedule, but if they win today, I mean, you get one step closer. Still have to win 12 games. It's a big feat, but could they go undefeated this NFL season? I think the Eagles, as I've mentioned over the last couple of weeks, it's only October 5th, but the Philadelphia Eagles look like they're ready to go back and win the NFC and be in the Super Bowl again. I mean, they look impressive. The Detroit Lions look good too. The Packers, they're okay. But the Eagles look like they're just ready to go back to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs have looked better in recent weeks, but Chiefs are only 2-2. Wins over the Ravens and, of course, the New York Giants. But the Eagles look like the team to beat. I mean, it's hard to repeat as the Super Bowl champions, in back-to-back years. The Cowboys and the Broncos and some other teams have done it, obviously. Packers as well. But, it's really hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine anyone's better than the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Again, not a very good start in the first quarter. Looked like they were sleepwalking, but it seems like they've woken up and now they're playing Philadelphia Eagles football. So we'll see. Update in Indianapolis. It is still the Colts 14 and the Las Vegas Raiders 3. The Miami Dolphins Carolina Panthers game is at the 2-minute warning. The Panthers have the ball. They're inside they're on midfield right now. They're trying to get some points before the half here. Looks like it's going to be a fast early week 5 stream here, ladies and gentlemen. It's only 11:14 a.m. here in Las Vegas, and we're already almost at halftime of these games. Looks like it's going to be a really fast NFL stream today. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to be here till the end of these early games. Got 6 games currently going on right now. Of course, the NFL bye weeks have started, so less teams are playing because we're now in what I like to call bye week mode, obviously. So that's where we are right now. Let's just take a look at something for your informational purposes, if you give me one moment here. Teams on a bye this week are the Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, and Pittsburgh Steelers. So we only got 28 of the 32 NFL teams playing this week. Carolina Panthers are not in field goal range yet, but they're getting closer to it. Again, it's Miami 17-7. Let's go down the scoring board here right now for you. The Giants are beating the Saints 14-13. Cowboys have the ball at the 2-minute warning, 10-3 over the New York Jets. Eagles 10, Broncos 3, Dolphins 17-7 over the Panthers, and finally the Texans against the Ravens 17-3, Houston Texans. Baltimore Ravens are at home and not looking good so far to start the NFL year. The Texans, I believe, are first and goal again. If you can believe it, the Houston Texans are looking to go up 24-3 on the Baltimore Ravens. Stroud passes, and that's a touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on with the Baltimore Ravens today? 23-3. Xavier Hutchinson for the Houston Texans catches that touchdown pass there. What is going on with the Baltimore Ravens? You know, historically a team who makes it to the Super Bowl, the AFC Championship game, the second round of the playoffs, a playoff caliber team every single year. The Baltimore Ravens do not look very good right now. 24-3, Houston, who did not play good the first 3 weeks, was lucky to beat the winless Titans last week. It is 24-3, Houston over Baltimore right now. Let's put that in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. That is Houston 24, Baltimore 3. That has got to be the surprise of the day so far. I don't think anybody expected that kind of start for the Houston Texans. So we're going to put that in the chat. Houston 24, Baltimore 3. Wow. That I would not have told you would have happened. That would have not been in my NFL predictions. You know, we do the college football predictions every week with Lane Fobbs, where we break down all the college football games. Happy to see that UNLV won yesterday. They're now 5-0 in the season after beating Wyoming 24-10. Happy to see my University of Florida Gators finally win a game, 2-3 on the year, beating the top 10 Texas. Florida's now got to go to TAMU this week. Undefeated team. Can they beat another top 10 team? It is the SEC, Southeastern Conference football. Anything is possible. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Indiana plays Oregon next week. That should be an interesting game as well, and a battle with Big Ten foes. Scoring updates for you. The Eagles are at midfield against the Broncos. It's 10-3, Philadelphia Eagles again. I think that the Eagles look like they're in playoff form. Jalen Hurts just got sacked there by the Denver Broncos defense. They're going to have to punt the football with 2 minutes remaining. You got to give credit to the Denver Broncos. They're playing very well today. They're on the road. They're in Philadelphia. You know, they're not expected to win this game, but they're playing very well so far. Got to give the Eagles credit where credit is due. It's 10-3 Philadelphia, but the Broncos are hanging around. Miami Dolphins 17-7, 28 seconds left here. Bryce Young and company are on the field here trying to get some scoring plays here. They're in field goal range, so the Panthers should put some points on the board and make this a serviceable halftime score, giving them hope for the second half. They're currently at the Miami Dolphins 25-yard line. Let's see what happens here. Going to be a penalty flag. That's never good. Never good at all. That is not good one bit. You know, the Indianapolis Colts are driving against the Raiders. They're inside the Raiders' 15-yard line. Love to see the Raiders do well, of course, as always, but not looking good so far today. Again, consolation prize for the Las Vegas Raiders. They do get the Tennessee Titans at home next week. Titans have to play the Cardinals later today. Let's just go over for those of you who are going to watch the games later. We'll not be here for them, but let's just take a look. Cardinals against the Titans, Seahawks against the Buccaneers, Lions against the Bengals, and the Commanders against the Chargers are your later NFL games today. I hope you enjoy them. Hope you enjoy watching them. 14-3, Colts over the Raiders as we get close to halftime here. So we get near the halftime break. We'll take a small break of about 2 or 3 minutes on a pause. We'll let you know when that is. And then we'll be back to talk about the second half of the Week 1 games. We appreciate everyone here again. Facebook. We're on Facebook. Facebook.com/CYInterview. Thank you so much to our over 44,000 subscribers now here on YouTube as we move up in the world. And we keep moving up. Colts are inside the Raiders 10 right now. can head over there, facebook.com/CY interview. For our over 300,000 followers, 315 to be exact, on Facebook, we appreciate you over there as well. And of course, go over the main channel, watch our best CY interviews. We've got playlists of Vegas and conversations, and of course, go check out some of our recents. We're going to have some great content this week that's already in the can. We'll be getting up. We look forward to sharing those conversations with you as well, and all that good stuff also. NFL Week 5, nothing better than it. So far, surprise of the day, Houston Texans. I don't think anybody expected the Houston Texans to be beating the Baltimore Ravens by 3 freaking touchdowns right now. It is currently 24-3. I don't think anybody expected that. I don't think they did. Not one bit. We love watching the NFL, that's for sure. We love it, you know. There's nothing better than it. We love watching the NFL. You know, there are millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people who are watching it all across the world, of course, you know, at all times and situations. And you know, the NFL's got fans, of course. You know, we're doing games in London. There's games in Brazil now every year. We always talk about this, but you know, week 1 of the NFL year, the Chargers played the Chiefs in Brazil. Year prior, the Eagles played the Packers. You know, people love watching the NFL all across the world. There's no denying that. They love watching the NFL all across the world. And unfortunately, the Indianapolis Colts have scored another touchdown. It is now by Michael Pittman Jr., wide receiver. It's now 20-3 Colts against the Raiders. Raiders are going to have to regroup at the half here, that's for sure. They are absolutely going to have to regroup. Not looking good early for the Las Vegas Raiders. Hopefully, we'll see some positive strides in the second half. Miami Dolphins 17, Carolina Panthers 7. Panthers have 7 seconds left to the half. Do you go for a touchdown here? Baltimore Ravens are going to try to make a field goal before the half. The kick is up. It's from 55 yards. It's not good at all. That field goal was missed. 24-3. Texans over the Ravens going to the half. And the Colts, I don't know why the Colts are going for 2 points there. That's so odd. Indianapolis 20, Raiders 3. I guess you feel like if you get that, it's a 4-possession game. I guess the math of winning is more likely. Indianapolis Colts 20, Las Vegas Raiders 3. We'll put that in the chat. Let's see what the Panthers are able to do here. Saints are trying to move the ball here. I think the Saints are going to take the lead on the Giants before the end of the half here. Looking pretty good if you're the New Orleans Saints to take the lead. If the Saints can get their first win of the year, they'd be really happy about that, I think. 0-4 New Orleans Saints looking to get there. It looks like we're going to have a field goal attempt? Maybe. Carolina Panthers should be kicking a field goal. We're going to have a 52-yard field goal attempt by the New Orleans Saints here. That kick is up, and that kick is going to be no good. It is still going to be New York Giants 14, and the New Orleans Saints 13. I'm Chris Yannick for C1 Review. We're giving you live NFL reaction. Thank you so much for everybody who's here today. In the chat, thank you so much for stopping by. That field goal is up and good. That's going to end the half. Miami 17, Carolina 10 at the half. We'll put that in the chat. Las Vegas Raiders have got 15 seconds left here. Let's see if they're able to do something. Anything would be good here. If you get into field goal range, that they're approximate 35-yard line. They're in midfield. They got a chance here. The Raiders have 2 timeouts remaining. Looking at about a 65-yard field goal. If you could get another 10-yard pass, then you're looking at approximately a 55-yard field goal. 8 seconds until the half. Let's see if the Raiders can find a way to get some points on the board here before the half. They're approximately in midfield of Indianapolis, maybe like the Raiders' 47-yard line. Upcoming, by the way, here in Las Vegas at noontime, the Las Vegas Aces will continue their WNBA Finals series against the Phoenix Mercury. Aces won Game 1. Aces are 3 wins away from their 3rd WNBA championship behind Asia Wilson and company. That's at noontime today. Go Aces, just for those of you who are WNBA fans. Looking very good right now. The Aces have a chance to get their 3rd. Raiders are going to throw a first down pass here. They are going to have about a 55, 56-yard field goal. Let's see what ends up happening here. See if the Raiders can get on the board before the end of the half here. You get some points on the board. You build the confidence going into the second half. The Dallas Cowboys update are up on the New York Jets now 17-3. Let me put that on the scoreboard here. Dallas Cowboys 17, New York Jets 3. And there that is for all of you. Giants are trying to move the football here before the half. They might be able to get some points on the board. Okay, here we go. It's going to be a 57-yard field goal attempt for the Las Vegas Raiders here. It's in a dome. That means there's no wind and there's no outside interferences. Let's see if they're able to get it. The kick is up, and it is unfortunately no good. Great effort by the Las Vegas Raiders there, but to no avail. It is 20-3. Indianapolis Colts over the Raiders at the half. We'll be right back. We're going to pause for our own halftime in a minute here. I'm Chris Yannick. I'll be right back with you in 2 minutes. Thanks, everybody. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. The Dallas Cowboys have just extended their lead against the New York Jets. Welcome back. Jake Ferguson with the touchdown. That makes it 23-3. New York Jets look like they're going to be going to 0-5 on the NFL season. Not very good, unfortunately, for them. New York Jets, are the New York Jets going to be a top 5 draft pick? I think that's very possible. I think the Saints could be a top 5 draft pick. I mean, it's early on. We're only in week 5 of the NFL season, but you know, you have got to start winning some football games if you want to build some confidence. Saints have got a chance to put some points on the board here before the end of the half against the Giants. I think the Saints and the Giants have got to be the most exciting game so far in the early sector. You know, Cowboys and Texans are doing very well. There's a ding off the extra point. It's going to be Cowboys 23, Jets 3. The Dallas Cowboys kicker misses the extra point. 15 seconds until the half. They're not very good. The extra points are harder now in the NFL in recent years because they moved it back, so they're not guarantees anymore. We've got Dallas 23, New York Jets 3. We'll put that in the scoring box. Saints are going to have to kick a field goal, I imagine, here. There's only 5 seconds left until the half. Again, it's the Giants 14 and the Saints 13. Six seconds left. They're actually going to attempt another play here. Spencer Rattler for the New Orleans Saints is on the field. They're actually going to attempt one here. I guess you feel like if you throw it quickly, you can probably get in another play. I mean, you are 0-4 as well, so you really don't have anything to lose by doing this. So I guess why not take a shot? I guess if you're the New Orleans Saints here. Incomplete. That pass is incomplete. Now you kick the field goal, in my opinion. Got to kick that field goal. And they're bringing out their kicker. So it should be 16-14, Saints going to the half. Someone will have to check for me. Is that the first time the Saints have led the entire going into halftime? It very well might be. 29-yard attempt coming up here. Kick is up and it's good. It's going to be New Orleans 16, Giants 14 going to the half. We'll put that in the chat box. So everything is at halftime right now. Literally, let's go down the list. Houston 24, Baltimore 3, Indianapolis 20, Raiders 3. Let's go second half, Las Vegas Raiders. Dallas 23, the New York Jets 3, Miami 17-10 over the Carolina Panthers. The Saints just got that field goal 16-14 over the New York Giants. And the Philadelphia Eagles looking to get to 5-0 on the NFL season, 10-3 over the Denver Broncos. So if you want to watch the games live, you can go to NFL.com and you have to pay for the Red Zone subscription. I think it's like $15 American a month. And that's where we get all of our NFL feeds from. It's a worldwide package that they do where you can actually watch the games on the NFL.com website. So some people have packages where they can watch them through Paramount Plus on CBS. and Fox Sports Go. Those are the main carriers. Of course, Sunday Night Football is always carried by NBC Sports. Some people are watching on YouTube Live. YouTube Live has NFL Sunday ticket packages as well. So people are watching the NFL on YouTube, Paramount Plus, NFL.com, Fox Sports Go, NBC Sports on Sunday nights, and ESPN on Monday nights. So they're watching NFL games every single place. Literally, they're just watching them everywhere that you can think of. To answer your question, everywhere across the world on all different kinds of streams and services and programs. Nobody is, of course, soccer world sport, no denying that. NFL working on becoming a world sport again. Fans in Canada and Mexico and Brazil and Germany and the United Kingdom, it's becoming a bigger sport every day. And of course, the Kansas City Chiefs and 49ers Super Bowl that was here in January of 2024 was one of the most watched television events in American history, top 5. Of course, you had the Travis Kelce playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, who's engaged to Taylor Swift, obviously, gigantic world music star. So there was that angle that helped, but I mean, it was just crazy, the week was so wonderful here. Again, the thumbnail is from that Super Bowl week with Las Vegas Raiders quarterback Aiden O'Connell. We got to spend some time with NFL great Willie Gault. We were with, we were with some great people that week, and went to some of the great parties. And I can't wait for the Super Bowl to be back here, hopefully in 2029, because it was just incredible. Vegas should have it every year. I mean, of course, there's 32 NFL franchises and people make claims. You never want to play the freaking Super Bowl in cold weather. So it always ends up in California, where it's in Santa Clara this year. It was in Los Angeles last year. Las Vegas the year before. New Orleans last year, excuse me. Santa Clara this year. Los Angeles is going to get it soon. So it's always in a warm weather setting. Usually Miami, of course, has had many of the Super Bowls. But, people are watching the NFL. A lot of people also watch the highlights on YouTube, I'm sure, and NFL.com, the game highlights, if they're not able to watch the games live. A lot of people in the United States military, of course, also, who are stationed across the world, watch the NFL games on Sunday also. They watch their favorite teams also. So that's a big thing also for, our armed services. And we thank everybody for their service, past and present. But that's a big thing also for a lot of people, also, to answer that question. Looks like the Ravens are now in the third quarter against the Houston Texans. The Baltimore Ravens are losing 24-3. The Ravens better get a touchdown like ASAP if they want to build some confidence here. Not looking good early for the Baltimore Ravens in this NFL season. You fall to 1-4. You've got to finish. You've got to finish 9-3 or 8-4. That's it, or you're not making the playoffs. So Ravens got a first down there. They're trying to get back. We have seen these comebacks where teams have come back from 3 scores, So we have seen that before. So it is very possible, but it's not easy. It's possible, but it's not easy. So. Also, again, make sure you head over to the main channel to keep up with everything we have going on here at C1 Review in Las Vegas and beyond here on the NFL Sunday. Really surprised by how well the Houston Texans are playing today. Very surprised by that. Well, it looks like there was a turnover, unfortunately, and the Baltimore Ravens not looking good. 24-3, the Texans have the ball now. Carolina is trying to get this back to a tied game. Dolphins looking to give up 17 points in a row. That's not looking very good so far. It's currently 17-10 Miami. Carolina Panthers just missed that there, trying to get there against Miami. Texans are blowing out the Baltimore Ravens today. Nobody expected this. Nick Chubb with a touchdown. It's 30-3 Houston. Wow. What a punch. What a punch in the face by the Houston Texans against the Baltimore Ravens. The Carolina Panthers have added a field goal. It is now Miami 17, Carolina 3. Excuse me. Let's fix that. Sorry, we're going to fix that. It's Miami 17, Carolina 13. Put that in the score box. (31-3), Houston over Baltimore. Raiders and Colts are now back in the second half. And there's a punt. Not sure who's getting the football there. It looks like the Colts are going to the field. Let's give you some updates. Still at the half of the Jets and the Cowboys and the Broncos and the Eagles and the Saints and the Giants. 3 games are currently going on. The best of the group, of course, the Miami Dolphins beating the Carolina Panthers 17-3. The surprise of the day, Houston 31, Baltimore 3. Baltimore is going to have to regroup and get something done quickly, or their NFL season is going to just fall apart. I don't think, again, I understand that the Ravens had to play the Bills and the Chiefs to start the year, but that's not very good right now. Again, just Not very good. Not very good at all. I just have to tell you, just very, very disappointing. Very disappointing effort today so far by the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think anybody expected that to be how start of the year is. Lamar Jackson's not playing, but just a bad effort today. Really a bad freaking effort. Bad effort by the Baltimore Ravens. Bad effort at all. Really bad effort. Can the Broncos in the second half find something against the Philadelphia Eagles, or will the Philadelphia Eagles remain undefeated? It is currently the Eagles 10 and the Broncos 3. Wait and see what happens, but not looking good. I mean, the Broncos played good, but see if they can hold the Eagles here in the second half on their first possession. Eagles are right now approximately at the 50-yard line. So going to be tough and challenging, but we'll see about that. Christianic CY interview. It is week 5 of the NFL season. We're in here giving you our thoughts as the early games, how on the Las Vegas Raiders are playing the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to be here for the early 6 games today. And thank you so much to everybody who watches these feeds, who literally is watching these feeds after they're recorded. We greatly appreciate that as well. It's been an uptick over the last couple of weeks. You guys love watching the replays of my NFL thoughts, and we're so grateful for all of you who watch our stuff here on CY Interview. It's greatly appreciative. Colts are currently beating the Raiders 20-3 in the third quarter. Hopefully we'll see the Raiders get back on the field here. Maybe they can get it to 20-10 or 20-6 shortly. Love to see the Raiders do well today. Not looking good so far. Again, I believe next week the Raiders get the Titans. That should be very helpful. Eagles looking good as always, and that is a Jalen Hurts touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. The Philadelphia Eagles have now taken a 2-touchdown lead on the Denver Broncos. Touchdown, Philadelphia Eagles, a throw to running back Saquon Barkley. It is 16-3 Eagles over the Broncos, the pending extra point. Not a great beginning of the second half of the Denver Broncos there. What a great, I guess that was like, it's not a screen pass because the running back's all the way out there, but that's a great throw. I mean, that if you can throw long to your running back, that is just some great, football right there. So many offensive weapons for the Eagles, obviously. 17-3 now, Philadelphia Eagles over the Denver Broncos, I imagine. We'll wait for the pending extra point. The Saints and Giants are now in the second half. The New Orleans Saints looking for their first win of the NFL season. It is 16-14 right now. Fortunately, the Colts converted a first down. They're going to hold on to the football here. The Giants got a 4th and 1 upcoming right now. Let's see what they're going to do here. They're going to go for it. Giants are 1-3, looking to get their second win on the NFL season. Saints looking for that first one, as we talk about. They're going to go for it here at their own 45. Let's see if they're able to get it here in the Superdome. And they will. I don't know. It was pretty close. Pretty close right there. I think they got the first down, but we'll see what the refs say here. The moment of anticipation And they got it. That's a first down for the New York Giants against the New Orleans Saints. So that drive will continue along. Again, Giants looking to get their second win of the NFL season. 2-3 for the Giants would be great at this point if they were able to get to that area. They're at midfield, approximately the 47-yard line here. Colts are continuing to move the ball against the Raiders here, unfortunately. 9 minutes and 48 seconds left in the third quarter. Scoring updates for you. The Colts 20, the Raiders 3. The New Orleans Saints are beating the New York Giants 16-14, but the New York Giants are currently driving. The surprise of the day, the Houston Texans 31, the Baltimore Ravens 3. The Philadelphia Eagles just scored a touchdown. They are now up on the Denver Broncos 17-3. That game is taking place in Philadelphia. We'll put that in the chat box. Thank you so much for everybody who's over here today watching our NFL Live. We're doing the early games today because the Raiders are playing. Again, I want to thank all of you who are watching these replays. It means the world to me that you're watching our replays today and during the week. Thank you to Natty from India. Thank you to Jemmy from Kenya. Thank you to all of our fans across the world watching and beyond. I know there's some in the United States and Florida right now watching. Thank you so much for everybody who's here watching the C1 Interview NFL Live reaction feed. I so greatly appreciate it. We greatly appreciate C1 Interview. And again, of course, go over the main channel and watch those videos. Turnover by the New York Giants. And the New Orleans Saints are going to end that drive. So the Saints are now going to have the ball at midfield. Still 16-14 Saints over the Giants in the third quarter. The Colts are inside the 5-yard line against the Las Vegas Raiders, unfortunately. Raiders really need to hold the Colts to a field goal here. We'll see what happens. Red zone. The Colts are in the red zone. Sort of the running back. I'm guessing that's Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. They're going to be short there. That is Jonathan Taylor, number 28 for the Indianapolis Colts, running back formerly at the University of Miami. Second and goal coming up for the Indianapolis Colts here. That's a touchdown. And the Indianapolis Colts are going to extend their lead against the Las Vegas Raiders. The score is now 26-3. Not very good day for the Las Vegas Raiders. Still time to put some positives on the board, but you're running out of time. And those of you who've just joined us, scoring update now. The Indianapolis Colts are up on the Las Vegas Raiders, 26-3. I'm Chris Shinnick, C1 Interview. We're doing live Week 5 NFL Live reaction. The camera's right there. The monitor's right there. We're watching the NFL games, the early games today with you, giving our thoughts on everything going on. Thank you for everybody who's in the room today from all across the world and the United States. We greatly appreciate your support. The Colts are going to go for a 2-point conversion here, and they're going to get that one too. It is, we'll update it in the chat box. Indianapolis Colts 28, Las Vegas Raiders 3. Raiders need to find something on this next drive, hopefully. Scoring update for you. The Dallas Cowboys are still up on the New York Jets 23-3. In the third quarter, the Cowboys looking to get to 2 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. You may recall last week that the Cowboys tied the Green Bay Packers on Sunday Night Football. Ties are not common in the NFL, but they do happen. And, well, the Packers and the Cowboys had a tie last week. So we'll update that score in the box for you. Dallas 23, New York Jets 3, third quarter. Actually, the 2-point conversion didn't count, I don't think. I think it's 26-3. Broncos trying to drive and get some points going. Bo Nixon there with a 2-yard rush for a first down. I think that was on 4th down. Broncos have got to get something going here. Yep, they've held the Eagles to 17 points today, but they only have 3 so far for their efforts. They need to get something on the board here, preferably a touchdown against the Super Bowl defending champion Philadelphia Eagles. First down for the Broncos. They're going to keep moving the football there. They're about approximately midfield. The Houston Texans are going to attempt a 57-yard field goal. That's good. 34-3. Houston Texans over Baltimore Ravens. Wow. I mean, blowout city, ladies and gentlemen. Blowout city. Most of these games early on seem to be, one-sided. Probably the closest one right now is the Dolphins and the Panthers. Houston 34, Baltimore 3. We will put that in the chat. Not great. Denver's going to take a timeout. Denver can get a touchdown here. We'll look a lot closer. Those of you in the West Coast, enjoy your early NFL Sundays. You have to get up at 10 a.m. to watch the first games. And if you want to watch the games in London, you have to get up at 6:30 a.m. The Jets and the Broncos are the London game next week. Today's London game, the Minnesota Vikings beat the Cleveland Browns earlier 21-17 on a last-minute touchdown. Broncos running the ball and getting inside the Eagles 35 here. That's a little bit of a positive moment right there. Also, the Saints and the Giants is 16-14, so that game's still close too. Half these games are not close. Half of them are competitive. For the 6 NFL games currently going on again, there's a couple teams on the bye this week, including the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Only 28 teams are playing this week. So there's also that factor as well. Cowboys just went for it again. I think on a 4th and 1 or 2, they're going to keep the football. Cowboys are in control. The Jets are going to 0-5 on the season, it looks like. New York Jets, are you going to be the first pick in the 2026 NFL draft? You're moving in that direction. 0-5 to start the year, most likely. Cowboys are just going to probably run the ball and milk the clock as much as possible and shorten that game. If I were up 3 scores on the road in the NFL, why would you do anything special when the other team isn't showing any life on offense anyway? Incomplete pass by the Denver Broncos there. Saints are inside the 35-yard line. They're looking to drive against the Giants here. See if the Raiders can get something going here. It's 26-3, not 28-3. I'll update that. Fortunately, that's going to be an interception return for a touchdown. Really tough day at the office for the Las Vegas Raiders. Never give up, obviously, but 32-3 now. Indianapolis Colts over the Las Vegas Raiders. Tough day for the Raiders at the office right now. Let's check the score in that Miami and Carolina game. Haven't seen much from that. Let's just take a look at something at the top here. Miami 17, Carolina 13. That game is 6 minutes in the third remaining. Most of the games are going really quick again today. Seems like the ones with the most suspense are going to be the Saints and the Giants and the Dolphins and the Panthers here at the end. Let's put an update on that scoring box. You got Miami 17, Carolina 13. (32-3), Colts over the Raiders right now. Denver Broncos are at the 42-yard line of Philadelphia. Probably going to be punting the football because they're on 4th and 15, but kind of an interesting scenario right now. See if they punt it. They did. So the Eagles are going to start their next drive at the Broncos at their own 9-yard line. It's easier when you keep the score box open on the other screen as you're watching the monitor because you're only watching one game at a time up here. Saints, like to see the Saints win. It'd be nice to see the Saints get a win. No one wants to go 0-17 in the NFL, obviously, but 2nd and goal right here for the New Orleans Saints. They're up 16-14. See what can get done here. Almost an interception. The ball's tipped, and that's why you're 0-4. 32-3, Indianapolis over the Raiders right now. Chris Shandick, C1 Review, covering Las Vegas and the world. We're heading to the 4th quarter of most of these games. They're getting closer. We're doing Week 5 NFL Live Reaction. I want to thank everybody who watches it live and who watches the replays that go on to our YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate all of your support. Thank you for continuing to watch us here at C1 Review as we give you our thoughts on the NFL in real time as it happens every Sunday. We're going to be here for these early games. Then we're going to leave you to watch those later games today. Enjoy watching Cincinnati and Detroit and Arizona and Tennessee, among others. We'll not be here for those, but we are going to watch and finish up these early games before we wrap up in the next 90 minutes or so, probably. Looks like the New Orleans Saints are going to probably be kicking a field goal here. It is 16-14 right now. The kick is up and it's good. And the New Orleans Saints are up 19-14 against the New York Giants. Oh, the Baltimore Ravens are moving the ball. Someone is alive. And they're inside the 5-yard line. Looks like the Ravens may finally get a touchdown on the board today. Down 34-3. Let's take a look at the replay. And the Ravens are on the board. New score, Houston 34, Baltimore 10. Still got a long way to go. That is a Derrick Henry touchdown, by the way. He now has 110 touchdowns in his NFL career. Eagles are moving the ball here. 17-3 in the third quarter. The Miami Dolphins and Carolina Panthers game is still 17-13. That game is getting close to the fourth quarter. Eagles are looking to pull away from the Broncos. They're up 17-3 at the moment. Jets have the ball, 23-3 in the third quarter. You better get a touchdown now. They're at midfield. They're going for it on 4th and 1. Let's see what happens here. They didn't get it. And the Cowboys are going to start that drive at midfield. They did not get that whatsoever. Carolina Panthers are moving the ball to their own 20. They get a first down. That's encouraging. See if the Carolina Panthers can do anything on this drive against the Miami Dolphins. Let's go down the list of scores for you. Houston 34, Baltimore 10. The New Orleans Saints got another field goal. We're going to update that in the chat box. So it's New Orleans 19, New York Giants 14. What else we got? Philadelphia 17, Denver 3. Denver got the ball back, so that's good. They need to get a touchdown. Dallas is at midfield 23-3. Indianapolis over Las Vegas 32-3. Miami 17, Carolina 3. Carolina trying to drive the football. That game is getting to the fourth quarter already. Pretty close. Looks like Carolina and Miami are trying to finish faster than everybody else today. Fourth down held by the Miami Dolphins, so the Panthers are not going to be able to do anything. That game is headed to the fourth quarter. It's going to be Miami 17, Carolina 13 going to the fourth quarter on that one. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. Thanks so much for coming along with us today. We're doing live reaction to week 5 of the NFL season, the early games. Looking forward to it today, watching them with you in real time. We'll be here till the end of these 6 games complete. We're getting to the fourth quarter of a couple of them. The Dolphins and the Panthers are heading to the fourth quarter. It is 17-13 right now. Miami over Carolina. Miami is looking to get to 2-3 on the NFL season. Both these teams are actually 1-3. Carolina Panthers, of course, with their win over the Atlanta Falcons. So we're waiting on that result. One of those teams hopefully will get to 2-3. New York Giants are looking for their second win of the NFL season. They're currently down to the winless New Orleans Saints. That score is 19-14 right now. That's where we are on that one. And additionally, as well, continuing to move along in this process, Philadelphia Eagles looking to get to 5-0 on the NFL season. They're beating the Denver Broncos 17-3 at this point. Dallas Cowboys get another touchdown. George Pickens, the former Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver who's now with the Dallas Cowboys. That game is pretty much over. A lot of one-sided affairs today in the early week 1 and week 5 early slate action today. The Jets are just getting pummeled, ladies and gentlemen. 29-3 Dallas right now over the New York Jets, just pummeled. 29-3. Not very good. Not very good at all. Again, I think that the New York Jets are an early candidate for the first pick in the 2026 NFL draft. Dallas, 30. New York Jets, 3. It's in the chat. It is in the chat. Giants are moving the ball against the Saints. They're inside the 25-yard line of the New Orleans Saints, down 19-14. That game's still competitive. An update in Philadelphia, the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Denver moving the ball a little bit here. They have a 4th and 2 upcoming from their own 30. Is it too early to go for it? Maybe. Giants are looking to get something done. They're heading to the fourth quarter. There's like 1 minute and 50 seconds left there. They're at the approximate 23-yard line. Colts are looking to make it even more lopsided than they did. 38-3 Colts over the Raiders right now. Jonathan Taylor with another touchdown. If you have Jonathan Taylor as your running back today in your fantasy football league, you are probably doing very well right now with a couple of touchdowns. Set some decent runs as well. So Jonathan Taylor all day of the week and twice on Sunday. Also, if you have the Indianapolis Colts defense, you're probably doing very well right now also. Giants are getting close to the goal line there. The Indianapolis Colts are going for 2 again. It is now 40-3. Indianapolis over the Raiders. Giants are getting closer to the edge here. Let's do some scoring updates for you across the board. Indianapolis 40-3 over the Raiders. 17-13 Miami over Carolina. That game is going to the fourth quarter. Miami has the ball at their own 30. The Dallas Cowboys are on their way to getting their second win of the NFL year and being 2 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. They're beating the winless, about to be 0-5 New York Jets 30-3. Philadelphia in control right now, 17-3 in the third over Denver. The Giants are heading to the fourth quarter down 19-14 against the New Orleans Saints, but they're at the Saints' 12-yard line. And Houston's trying to get to 40 points, beating the Houston Texans, maybe the surprise of the day, 34-10. Dolphins are going to be punting right now. So interesting. Here's the storyline in that Miami Dolphins and Carolina Panthers game. Miami got up early 17-0, and it looked like they were going to coast to a Week 5 victory. But since then, the Carolina Panthers have held the Miami Dolphins scoreless, and they've scored 13 points. Miami right now, there's a penalty flag on the field. They were just punting back to the Carolina Panthers. But we're going to see what that penalty flag is on the play. But right now, the most competitive games are Miami, Carolina, the Giants and the Saints, and the Eagles and the Broncos. Eagles do have a 2-touchdown lead, but if the Broncos were able to get a touchdown somehow and make it a 1-score game, that would be more competitive. The Texans, the Colts, and the Cowboys are on their way to victories. And the Houston Texans just scored another touchdown. That should make it 41-10 against the Baltimore Ravens. If you're the Baltimore Ravens, can you finish 8-4 on the year? I do not know. Can you be that 7th wildcard team, that 7th team in the AFC? I do not know. But it's not looking good right now. Jaylen Nowell for the Houston Texans got that touchdown. If you've got Jaylen Nowell on your fantasy team, there's 6 points for you, and a pass from C.J. Stroud. If you've got C.J. Stroud today in your fantasy team, you're probably doing well also, honestly. Carolina does get the ball back after the Dolphins punt, so that makes it 17-13. Can the Raiders get a touchdown today and get a little confidence going, down 40-3? Hopefully, I hope so. Eagles are at their own 38-yard line right now, leading the Broncos 17-3. 30-3, Jets and Cowboys. 3 of these games are pretty much just run the clock and let's get out of here. 3 of them still have a chance to be competitive. Looking to see if Miami can hold off here against Carolina, and can the Giants get a touchdown here and get to 2 wins on the season? If you're the New York Giants, you're 2-3. I like what's going on right now. So let's see. Giants now have got the ball back at, again, the New Orleans Saints. There's a turnover. The Giants just fumbled the ball to the Saints, and the Saints are going to go all the way back for a defensive touchdown. That is not the way you want to start the fourth quarter. Jordan Howden for the New Orleans Saints, a defensive back, just fumbled the ball. The Giants fumbled the ball. He picked up the touchdown. That is now the score, 25-14 Saints. Are the Saints going to get the first win of their NFL season? You cannot fumble the football in the red zone, and if you do, you better have an offensive player there to tackle that defender so you do not give up a big play. If you've got the New Orleans Saints defense today, that's got to be pretty helpful. Probably the New Orleans Saints defense were not very well owned, but the price on them was probably very low. So if you were one of the less than probably 1% to play the New Orleans Saints defense today, you're probably looking pretty good right now. 26-14 New Orleans Saints over the New York Giants. We'll put that in the chat. Jalen Hurts throwing downfield, missing his receiver, excuse me. The New York Jets are attempting a field goal attempt. That kick is good. And so the New York Jets get their second field goal of the day. Nick Folk with a 40-yard field goal, I believe it was. It is now Dallas 30 and the New York Jets 6. We'll update the chat box on that. For those of you who have Nick Folk as your kicker on your fantasy team today, he now has 2 field goals. Carolina trying to drive the ball here. 13 minutes left in that game. Again, the Dolphins beating the Panthers 17-13. Broncos were able to sack Jalen Hurts. They're going to get the ball back. But the Broncos need to get some points on the board. 17-3 Eagles again over the Broncos right now. If you're the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix, you need to get a touchdown on this next drive. You need to get it moving along. Chris Yandick, C1 interview, covering Las Vegas and the world. We are doing NFL Live reaction thanks to our friend Natty from India, people from Kenya, Florida, the United States of America, wherever you're watching us in the world. Thank you so much for tuning in today, watching our NFL live stream. We're doing the early games today because the Raiders have been playing against the Colts. Raiders so far today, unfortunately, only 3 points against the Indianapolis Colts. But the Raiders are playing, and we're always excited to watch the Raiders no matter what. It's a Raiders football day. Every day of the year is our past C1 interview guest multiple times, Raiders analyst Maurice Moden, Bleacher Report. Go check him out over there. Of course, also go over and see our buddy Lane Fobbs. We do the weekly college football preview segment predictions. Love doing that segment with Lane. We're having a great time. Great call on Florida beating Texas yesterday. Did not see that one coming. UNLV football, Las Vegas' college football team 5-0 after a win over Wyoming yesterday. The Miami Dolphins are getting the football back against the Carolina Panthers, 17-13 here in the fourth quarter. This one is getting to the end here. Miami's got to get some points on the board here, for sure. Houston, Baltimore is just a matter of the clock being run out of that one. Congrats to the Houston Texans. They're going to get to 2-3 on the year and keep their playoff hopes moving along. Good for them. And good for the New Orleans Saints. A lot of time left in that game, but 26-14, New Orleans over the Giants right now. You're going to need some hope in that regard. The Broncos are at midfield here. They're moving the ball a little bit. Giants have got to do something now. No more turnovers for the New York Giants. Oh my God, there's going to be a kickoff to midfield there. Giants have a chance. They need to get 2 touchdowns here in the fourth quarter with 14 minutes left. They better get moving. 26-14 Saints currently. (41-10) Houston over Baltimore. We'll put that in the chat. We already know that Houston's winning, but we'll put that in the chat anyway. 26-14 currently, Giants over the Saints. Saints over the Giants. Giants are at midfield here approximately, trying to move the football. Can the Giants get back to within one score here? They're going to need a touchdown quickly. There's a penalty flag on the play. (17-13) still Dolphins Panthers fourth quarter. Miami and Carolina, probably the most exciting game in this early window. It's Miami 17, Carolina 13. There's 11 minutes left. Both teams have 1 win and 3 losses. The winner of this game will improve their likelihood of potentially making the playoffs. Getting to 1 and 4 is going to be much more difficult, as we've been talking about today. Miami has the ball at approximately their own 43-yard line right here, 2nd and 8. Not a good play. 3rd and 10 coming up for the Dolphins. 10 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in that game. Carolina's got the example of when you start a game down 17-0, giving up 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and you're able to not give up any additional points, and you end up in a situation where you're down, where you're only down now by 4 by getting 13 points since then. You got a chance to win a football game, but this is how you make comebacks when you're down 3 scores in the NFL. It's called you have to play perfect defense, I always say, meaning not allowing any more points. It's really the only way that you end up getting somewhere. The Denver Broncos are driving on the Philadelphia Eagles. If the Broncos can somehow get a touchdown here, fourth quarter, 17-3 Philadelphia, this game could get interesting, but Broncos got to get a touchdown here. Field goals are not an option. Broncos are now inside the 10-yard line, 1st and goal. 1st and goal from the 10 for the Denver Broncos. We'll see if they're able to make this game a little more interesting. In the Miami Dolphins and Carolina Panthers game right now, Carolina has 2 turnovers as well. And that's amazing that they're only down 4 points. But Dolphins have a 3rd and 7 here. Let's see if they can convert this and keep this drive going. Incomplete pass for the Miami Dolphins. Broncos are inside the 5-yard line here. (44-10) now, Houston over Baltimore. Houston wants to put up 50 points today, it looks like. Giants are at midfield. They're going to be short. See if the Giants are going for it. I imagine the Giants are going for it here. The Saints are up by 12 points. There's 10 minutes left. You kind of have to go for it if you're the New York Giants here. Intercepted. That's not good. The Saints get an interception here inside the 5-yard line, and they're going to hold. It looks like the New Orleans Saints dart the quarterback for the New York Giants, throws that interception. Not looking very good right now if you're a New York Giants fan today. Saints 26-14. The Saints are looking like they're going to get their first win of the NFL season. Here's a positive update for you. The Las Vegas Raiders are inside the 20-yard line looking to get some points on the board. They may be down 40-3, but the Silver and Black are not giving up. 11 minutes left in that game. Broncos here, second and goal against the Eagles. Can they get a touchdown on the board and make this game exciting? Let's get some excitement, ladies and gentlemen. Incomplete pass, but there's a penalty flag. Could be defensive holding or pass interference here on the Eagles defense. We're going to check the marker. That is going to be defensive holding. So that'll be first and goal, automatic first down for the Denver Broncos there. Broncos are moving closer to scoring a touchdown. The Raiders are going to kick a field goal. And that's good. Daniel Carlson. If you've got Daniel Carlson as a kicker on your fantasy team today, 2 field goals for Daniel Carlson, 40-6, Indianapolis over the Raiders. We'll put that on the scoreboard. Daniel Carlson field goal for the Raiders. J.K. Dobbins for the Denver Broncos gets a touchdown. It is now 17-9, pending the extra point. The Denver Broncos are not going away against the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. We actually have a football game, ladies and gentlemen. 17-9 currently, Philadelphia over Denver. Let's see what happens on the pending extra point here. See if the Denver Broncos can get this extra point. The kick is up and it's good. 13 minutes left in that game. We're going to put an update in the chat box. It's Philadelphia 17, Denver 10. Nine minutes left in Miami and Carolina. Carolina has the ball back. Miami is winning 17-13 still. Carolina's got a first down and more, and they're going to go. They're not going to get a touchdown, but now they're inside the Miami Dolphins 30-yard line. If you hurry, in theory, Carolina could kick a field goal here and make it a 1-point game. There's still a lot of time left, but let's just go with Miami, Carolina. Miami 17, Carolina 13. That's the scoring update, but Carolina could be getting some points here, so we'll see about that. Eight minutes and 30 seconds left here. Carolina's at the approximate 27-yard line of Miami right now. 8 minutes to go. Surprise of the day so far, of course, Houston beating Baltimore right now, 44-10. Do they want to put 50 points up on the board today? Dallas is on its way to a victory over the Jets. They're up 30-6. The New Orleans Saints looking to get their first win of the NFL season, 26-14 Saints over the Giants right now. The Panthers are going to have a 3rd and 5 here. There's a flag on the play, though. 7 minutes and 49 seconds remaining. We're getting close to the end here. We got about probably 40 more minutes of this. Thank you so much for all of you who watch this in real time and also are also watching the replays. We greatly appreciate it. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. We're in the fourth quarter of all of these NFL games. It is currently 17-13 Miami over Carolina. That's the most competitive right now. Philadelphia against Denver, 17-10. See if Philadelphia can do anything here on offense or if Denver can make this one an interesting one. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 12 coming up for the Philadelphia Eagles. Carolina's 1st and goal against Miami. 7 minutes left there. See if Miami can hold on defense or not. Denver Broncos are going to get the ball back against the Philadelphia Eagles. That game is still a game. And the Carolina Panthers are at the 1-yard line of Miami. 6 minutes and 50 seconds remaining there. Denver's been hanging around. Can they tie this one up? Be very interesting to see. We'll see what the Denver Broncos are able to do on this drive. Carolina get the touchdown. They sure did, it looks like. Rico Dowdle is this touchdown for the Panthers. It's now 19-17 Panthers. Miami's going to have to get it together now. They have to get it together on this drive. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. It's week 5 of the NFL season. And we just have a scoring update. Carolina Panthers take the lead on the Miami Dolphins 19-17. Hopefully the Miami Dolphins can figure something out on this drive, or they're going to be 1-4 today. Dolphins trying to get to 2-3 on the NFL season. Carolina also trying to do the same thing. There's a booth review right now to make sure that the Carolina Panthers actually did score that touchdown. They're reviewing that right now. All scoring plays are reviewed in the NFL, I believe. He may not have gone there, but it's close. I think he's in, but would be where his knee went down and the ball went down, right? So, but I think the ball went past the plane there. But they're still booth reviewing. It's a touchdown. 40-6, the Colts are beating the Raiders right now. That extra point is up and good, and now it's Carolina 20, Miami 17. Denver's moving the football. They're not giving up. 17-10 Philadelphia right now. Oh, Philadelphia 17-10. But the Eagles are moving the football. And you got to give the Denver Broncos credit moving the ball on the Eagles. They're not giving up. 17-10, fourth quarter. See if the Broncos can get something going. Broncos are inside the 40 of Philadelphia. 10 minutes left in that game. Denver's moving the ball, ladies and gentlemen. First down, 9 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in that game. Giants are at midfield, 26-14. Got to get a quick score if you're the New York Giants. Miami's got to respond now. There's only 6 minutes left in that game. Miami's at approximately midfield here with 5 minutes and 50 seconds left. Broncos are moving the football again. There is a penalty flag on the play. Again, can the Broncos get here at the end? Penalty flag on Denver. That's not going to help their cause. See what they're able to convert on third down here. Miami's going for it all. They're going to get it. Touchdown, Miami. Miami takes the lead on a 50 probably. Jalen Waddle with the touchdown makes it 23-20 Miami over Carolina. Carolina is now going to have to respond. I'll put that in the text chat. Denver's moving the football. Denver. Denver inside the 10-yard line against the Philadelphia Eagles, getting close to that. Bo Nix and company driving the football. We'll put the scoring update on Miami and Carolina in the chat in one moment. After we get the pending extra point here. That kick is good. It's Miami now 24, Carolina 10. Carolina 20, excuse me. And the Broncos just got a touchdown. Evan Ingram, formerly, I believe, of Ole Miss, gets on the board there. The Broncos and Eagles are about to be tied at 17-17. Scoring plays are always under review, but it looks like he did get past the pylon there. So looks like it's going to be 17-17 closely, Eagles and Broncos. Can you freaking believe it, ladies and gentlemen? Eagles and Broncos are about to be tied. Will the Eagles lose their first game of the season? First reception touchdown this year for Evan Ingram, I believe, again, formerly of Ole Miss, if memory serves me right. I could be wrong about that. The Broncos are going for 2 points here. They're going to try to take the lead. I guess when you're playing the Super Bowl champions, you feel like you got nothing to lose here. Let's see if they get it. They do. Holy moly. Denver 18, Philadelphia 17. Philadelphia must now get at least 3 points to take the lead again. Let's put that scoring update in the chat. It's Denver 18, Philadelphia 17. Pretty incredible stuff right there. Giants have 5 minutes left against the Saints. Let's see what they can do. Interception. The New Orleans Saints are on their way to their first win of the NFL season. Both the Saints and Giants are going to be 1-4. It looks like it is currently 4 minutes and 58 seconds remaining. If I'm the New Orleans Saints, I'm just running the football. I'm not doing anything crazy here. It's time to celebrate winning your first game of the NFL season. Giants not looking good today. Looked great last week against the Chargers. Not looking great today at all. Currently 26-14 Saints. Jets are trying to get on the board here and get a touchdown, and they absolutely sure do. It is now Dallas 30, New York Jets 14 with 6 minutes and 14 seconds left here. Let's put that in the chat. Dallas 30, New York Jets 14. Probably too little too late there. 4 minutes and 36 seconds left. Miami and Carolina. This is, that in the Philadelphia and Denver game. Denver all the way back now, leading 18-17 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles better turn it up now. 7 minutes left that are still in that game, though. See what the Carolina Panthers can do here against the Dolphins with 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Penalty on the Philadelphia Eagles here. Going to set them back a little bit. See what Carolina can do here against Miami. They're at their own 15-yard line. Gonna get a first down here, but there's a flag. That could be holding in the backfield. Tampa Bay and Seattle are also playing today in the 4 o'clock window. Enjoy that game. Final score, Houston 44, Baltimore 10. I'm going to put that in the chat. Carolina's moving the ball again. They may have a chance to take the lead back from Miami. If I'm the Saints and the Cowboys, I just want to run that clock and get out of here. I don't want to take any chances. Both teams are in scoring range for a field goal at least. So, but if I'm those two teams, I just want to run the ball and get the hell out of here. Saints are on their way to their first win of the NFL season. Eagles are moving the ball, but there is a penalty flag on the play. Christian XC1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. We're wrapping up our Week 5 live NFL reaction in the next 20 to 25 minutes, probably, approximately. Philadelphia not able to get anything going. They're going to have to punt the football, it looks like. Denver's got a chance to upset the Philadelphia Eagles today. Still 5 minutes left there, but crazy stuff. See what happens here. Got to be careful if you're the Denver Broncos on this drive. Got to be very careful. Panthers are going to go for it maybe on 4th down here. They do have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, but it looks like that. The Saints and the Giants are now at the 2-minute warning. It is 26-14 New Orleans. New Orleans on their way to winning their first game of the NFL season. Carolina is going for it, excuse me. They're going to get it. And the Carolina Panthers are going to continue their drive against the Miami Dolphins. Feels like it's been the longest minute in the game in this one. Miami 24, Carolina 20 currently, but Carolina is driving, trying to get the go-ahead touchdown here. Christianic C1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. We're live, NFL Live reaction. Week 5. Always enjoy being with you guys. Carolina inside the 5 here. See what happens. Saints are going for it on 4th and 5 here. They're going to get it, and that's going to be pretty much it, I think. I think the Saints are going to be kneeing the football. Broncos now trying to run the clock out. There is 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in Philadelphia and Denver. What an upset that would be if Denver was able to hold on here against Philadelphia. Touchdown Carolina Panthers at the 2-minute warning. The Dolphins will have 2 minutes to either tie and send this to overtime, or they're going to lose or win the game with a go-ahead touchdown. The games are wrapping up here in this 1 o'clock window. Touchdown Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is now up 37-14. That game is now over pending the time left in it. The New York Jets are going to go to 0-5 on the NFL season. But the Saints are going to get their first win of the season. So congratulations to the New Orleans Saints. You've won your first NFL game of the 2025 NFL season. 2 minutes left there against the Giants. I think they just need to knee the ball, and I think that's going to be it. I guess that was actually an incomplete pass. My apologies on that. Or they punted. The Giants now have the football with 1:56 left. So I guess that game is not a ceremonial ending. But the Saints are on their way. Mm. 3 minutes and 28 seconds left in the Denver-Philadelphia game. Let's update the scoring box. Carolina 24, 27, Miami 24. We're just past the 3-hour watch mark here on C1 Interview NFL Live Week 5. Thank you so much for everyone who's joining us. Broncos get a first down. They're going to continue to move that ball. Philadelphia does have all of their timeouts remaining and the 2-minute warning, so not over yet. Denver is going to call a timeout here. There's a flag, actually. First and 15 now for Denver. .125 left in the Giants and Saints game. Giants are trying to get a touchdown. 1 minute and 54 seconds left in the. Again, your playoff chances, if you're 1-4, are 7%. If you're 2-3, they're 22%. So we've been talking about today, since 1990, if you're 2-3, you have a chance to make the playoffs with 22%, 7% if you're 1-4. That's how important it is to win today. So just a note for everybody. One minute left in the Saints and the Giants. Second and 10 for Miami coming up. This game is slow moving. Absolutely slow moving. Absolutely slow moving. That's incomplete. Third and 10 for Miami coming up. Can the Dolphins keep this drive going? The Broncos are trying to keep their drive going. 2 minutes and 37 seconds remaining. Broncos are continuing to move the football. They're in field goal range. They're about to be. Probably Eagles are going to take their second time out there. And Miami, it's just not happening right now. Fourth down coming up for Miami. They do have all 3 timeouts remaining. I don't know if you try to get. Yep, you're going to punt the football quickly here. You got to get on the field quickly. You're going to have to give the ball back to Carolina, call 3 timeouts, and then hope for better field position. Not a good move for the Miami Dolphins here. Tua getting sacked. You better hurry if you're Miami. You better frickin' hurry. Could also get a fumble on a punt here by some long shot. Carolina's going to call a fair catch, of course. 3rd and 2 for Denver. Philadelphia's got 1 timeout remaining. If you're able to get the first down here for Denver, you can pretty much not almost sink this away, but get close to it. And they're not going to be able to do that. I'm going to guess Philadelphia's going to call their last timeout there. There's a penalty flag, though, on the field. Let's see what the penalty flag is. This could be huge for the Denver-Philadelphia game. See what the penalty flag is on the field. The penalty, personal foul on Philadelphia. Wow. Denver was just given a gift, a present, a Christmas present in October with that one. They're going to probably end up winning now 18-17 if they are not able to fumble the football here. Pretty incredible stuff by the Eagles defense at the worst possible time that you do that. Looks like the Eagles are going to have a loss here. "49 seconds left in the Giants and Saints game, 26-14 still. Cowboys and Jets have 2 minutes left. Other final scores today. Indianapolis 40, Las Vegas 6. We'll put that in the chat. See if Denver can now just kind of soak this away. Philadelphia still has the timeout and the 2-minute warning, which they just used. Denver's in field goal range at least, so they can make it more than a field goal game. That is absolutely possible. Didn't happen. Giants are going to run out of options, and I believe the Saints are going to be kneeling the football. So the New Orleans Saints are going to get their first win of the NFL year, 26-14. See if that goes final. That should be over. I don't think the Giants have any timeouts remaining. Can the Broncos hold on here against the Philadelphia Eagles, 18-17? That's our big story right now. Carolina Panthers are trying to finish off the Miami Dolphins here. 3rd and 5. You get a first down, the game's over. If you hold your Miami, you call timeout, and you have a chance to get it back. Let's see what happens here. See if Miami's going to get another shot here. Nope, incomplete pass, but there's a penalty flag. Wow, Carolina just gets bailed out by a penalty flag on the Miami Dolphins defense. The game is over. Carolina will beat the Miami Dolphins 27-24. They're not able to fumble or do a stupid play here. Not a great series of events for the Miami Dolphins right there. Not good at all. Denver trying to move the ball. The Denver Broncos will now get this, the 2-minute warning, and they'll have the biggest 3rd down of their NFL season here against the Philadelphia Eagles. We will put that in the final scoring category. The New Orleans Saints get their first win of the NFL season, 26-14 over the New York Giants. That is a final. New York Jets not giving up, getting another touchdown against the Dallas Cowboys. It's now 37-20. I don't know if they missed the extra point or they went for 2 there. Early action, no score in Seattle and Tampa Bay. Do enjoy those 4 p.m. games. And the Carolina Panthers have beat the Miami Dolphins 27-24. The Carolina Panthers improved to 2-3 on the season. The Dolphins fall to 4-1 on the year. Not a great effort by the Miami Dolphins today. And so we're getting down to the end of it here. We got 2 remaining. We got the Broncos and the Eagles at the 2-minute warning. That is the most interesting of the remaining. The Dallas Cowboys are up on the New York Jets 37-22 now. That's got 1 minute and 42 seconds remaining. So we got Dallas 37. The New York Jets 22. See if the Jets can get the onside kick here. If they're not able to, this game is pretty much over. The Cardinals are looking for some confidence today. They're playing the Tennessee Titans, the winless Tennessee Titans, 0-4. The Jets are going to continue to remain winless, it looks like. And a good touchdown by the Arizona Cardinals early on here against the Titans in the early first quarter. That's a touchdown from Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison's son, of course. You remember Marvin Harrison, the great Indianapolis Colts wide receiver. That is a touchdown. There's a flag on the play. That game is in Arizona, just starting. Dallas got the onside kick recovery, so I expect it'll just be knee formations there. I don't know if the Jets have any timeouts remaining. Let's check. Probably not. Doesn't look like the Jets have any timeouts remaining, so that should just be a knee by the Dallas Cowboys. And that game should pretty much be over. We're down here to the last of it now. Philadelphia and Denver, 2 minutes remaining. We'll go through this and then we'll be done. If Denver could get a first down here and get to the 4-yard line, this game would be over. If not, they're going to probably have to kick a field goal. Denver's not going to be able to finish that off, so they're going to have to kick a field goal here most likely. I don't think you're going for it if you're Denver. I mean, if you go for it, You keep them in within the own Philadelphia Eagles 10-yard line, so they have to drive far. But I think you're kicking the field goal here probably. See what the Broncos are able to do here. They're going to be kicking that field goal. You cannot mess this up if you're the Denver Broncos here. The Rams learned this lesson the hard way a couple weeks ago against the Eagles. Do not screw this field goal up. It's going to be a timeout here before the attempt. And now it's a final. The Cowboys have won another game. Dallas Cowboys 37, New York Jets 22. That's a final. Got one left here in the slate. Jets fall to 0-5 on the year. Cowboys are now 2 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. Early action, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have gotten a field goal against the Seattle Seahawks. It's 3-0 Tampa Bay over Seattle early on there in the late schedules. Now the Broncos field goal is coming. They got it. It's 21-17 Denver over Philadelphia, but there's 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining. 1 minute, 11 seconds. Eagles have no timeouts, but you know the Eagles can drive. We're going to put that in the scoring box. Michael Carter get the touchdown. I guess it was reviewed. That Arizona Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown did not count, so it's now 7-0 Cardinals there early on. One minute and 11 seconds left. The Eagles and the Broncos are playing. 21-17 Denver. Can Denver hold on? We're about to find out. After that, we'll be wrapping up. I'm going to finish up with this one. This is going to be an interesting finish here, maybe, hopefully. But the Eagles don't have any timeouts left, so we'll see. Jalen Hurts is going to be sacked on that first play. That does not help. You need to hurry up if you're the Philadelphia Eagles. 2nd and 14. Almost intercepted there. It's going to be 4th and 7. There's 21 seconds left for the Philadelphia Eagles here. "21 seconds left. This could be the last play right here." Going to be a penalty flag? There is pass interference. The Eagles are going to be able to keep their drive alive. 15 seconds remaining. So this is not over yet, ladies and gentlemen. Going to have to hurry, but you got a better chance than you did a play ago. Eagles are inside the 29 of Denver. They're out of bounds, 9 seconds remaining. They're going to have a chance here. They will have a chance here to actually win this football game. A lot of suspense here. Eagles and Broncos, 9 seconds remaining. A field goal does no good for the Eagles. They must score a touchdown here. They must score a touchdown. Incomplete pass. There's going to be one more pass to the end zone. A very short Hail Mary here. 3 seconds remaining. I think about it, there's no timeouts for either team, so the Broncos can't call a timeout to set their defense here or talk about this play. You know what you have to do. You play the prevent, in my opinion, the prevent pass defense here. You send those defenders back near the end zone, and you get ready for this play. That's what I'd be doing. 2nd and 10, 3 seconds left. Can Denver hold on to beat Philadelphia? Let's see. Play is up in the end zone. It looks too far. It's incomplete, and the Denver Broncos will defeat the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia has its first loss of the season, 4-1. That ends our NFL Live schedule. Final score, Denver 21, Denver 21, excuse me. Philadelphia 17. That's a final. What a game. Denver coming back and ending up finding a way to win there. Great effort. So let's take a look at something here. So I'm going to do some research before we get off today's live quickly. Final score, Philadelphia 21, Denver 21, Philadelphia 17. Upset of the day. Okay, so let's take a look at something now. So with that loss, that leaves us with only the Buffalo Bills have not lost a game so far this year in the NFL season. So the 1972 Miami Dolphins have one last team that they have to worry about, and that would be the Buffalo Bills. They play tonight, Sunday Night Football, against the New England Patriots. Let's recap today what happened in the early NFL action. The New Orleans Saints get their first win of the NFL season, beating the New York Giants 26-14. Carolina Panthers get their second win of the year, 27-24 against Miami. The Dallas Cowboys get their second win of the year. The New York Jets are now 0-5 going to the first NFL draft pick. They lost the Dallas Cowboys 37-22. The Indianapolis Colts beat our Las Vegas Raiders 40-6. The Denver Broncos upset the Philadelphia Eagles again 21-17. Pretty incredible stuff in that regards. And the Houston Texans blew out the Baltimore Ravens 44-10. Good luck to the Baltimore Ravens the rest of the season. They're going to absolutely need it. Christian XC1 interview. Again, please watch this in replay if you haven't already. Please watch our college football weekly predictions and preview we put out on Wednesday evening, Las Vegas time in the late evening with Lane Fobbs. Go check him out at Bearcat Bites. And please look at some of our recent CWAT interviews with Barbara Streisand, tribute artist Sharon Owens, and there's some good content coming this week from Las Vegas. Famous Las Vegas headliner and one of the comedy clubs here in Vegas. Thank you so much. We enjoy our NFL Sundays with you. We'll see you next week. Okay, take care.